The whole country experiences a power outage. Children are thrown into the ruins of the world. I'll take you to read a book intensively every day. Today I'm presenting the Supernova Era. Chapter 5. Chaos and struggles in the early days of the new era. On the night when the AD clock completely turned black, Beijing seemed as if someone had suddenly cut off the power supply. Hua was rummaging through a map in his office in the Great Hall of the People. Suddenly, it plunged into complete darkness. It scared him so much that he almost knocked over his chair. What's going on? He took out his phone. The screen lit up briefly and then went black. It's out of power. Screams and running sounds came from the corridor. There's a power outage. My laptop has also shut down. Go and check the generator quickly. There was panic in the children's voices, like a group of kittens thrown into a dark room. Xiaomeng rushed in with a flashlight. The light beam on the wall swayed like a stick, dancing to disco music. Hua, it's not just Beijing. The whole country has lost power. The power grid has collapsed. Hua was stunned. Isn't there a backup power supply? No one is taking care of the backup power supply either. Xiaomeng was so anxious that she was about to cry. Just received a call. The Shanghai subway is stuck in the tunnel. Hundreds of children are trapped inside. This is just the beginning. In the next few hours, bad news came in like snowflakes. The water pipes burst. Several streets were flooded. The supermarket was ransacked. The shelves fell like dominoes. The oxygen machines in the hospital stopped working. The young nurses were in a panic, holding oxygen cylinders. The scariest thing is, a refinery caught fire. The fire lit up half the sky. The children sprayed fire extinguishers randomly. As a result, the fire burned even more vigorously. Where is Gung? Tell him to send the army to put out the fire. Hua shouted into the walkie-talkie. His voice was hoarse. The army was also in a mess. Gung's voice squeezed out from the walkie-talkie. With a hissing sound of electric current, the tanks can't get out of the garage. The keys to the oil depot can't be found. The children in a company were still grabbing compressed biscuits. They almost got into a fight. Glasses rushed in with a laptop in his arms. The screen was shining with a faint light. Don't panic. There's also Daliangzi. Hua was stunned for a moment before he realized. It was the super quantum computer in the National Information Building. Before leaving, the adults repeatedly said that it could save lives in critical moments. The three of them stumbled to the information building. The sentry at the door had long since disappeared. The elevator stopped working. They climbed more than 20 floors of stairs. They were gasping for breath like dogs. They pushed open the door of the main computer room. Inside a huge glass cover, the cylindrical and rectangular mainframes were glowing faintly, like two night pearls buried underground. Daliangzi. Hua called tentatively. A deep male voice sounded in the room, as if emerging from underground. I'm here. The whole country is in chaos. Can you work? Yes. I can take over the power system, communication system, and transportation network. There was no intonation in Daliangzi's voice. It was hard to tell if he was in a hurry. Then start working quickly. Xiaomeng stamped her feet and shouted. First, turn the electricity back on. Get the subway out of the tunnel. Put out the fire. Please provide priorities. All are priorities. Hua was almost crazy. Glasses suddenly held him back. Let it restore communication first. Without communication, Nothing can be coordinated. Daliangzi was silent for a few seconds. The indicator lights on the mainframe suddenly started flashing crazily. In less than 10 minutes, Huawa's walkie-talkie crackled. A faint voice came through. "Beijing. Please respond if you hear me. This is the Shanghai subway. It's connected." The children almost jumped up. In the next 3 days, it became a chaotic battle against time. Daliangzi was like an indefatigable housekeeper, directing the country's resources. It told the nearby children to bring crowbars to rescue the subway. It told the children in the refinery to spray water on the oil tanks to cool them down. It told the children in the waterworks to turn off the broken pipes. But after all, it's a machine. Many things have to be done by people. A rural child called and cried. The reservoir here is about to collapse. No one knows how to open the sluice gate. Huawa asked Daliangzi to retrieve the sluice gate operation manual and read it to the child sentence by sentence. When he read "turn clockwise" 3 times, the other side suddenly shouted, "It's moving. The water is coming out." "Thank you." A young nurse in a hospital cried and said, "The incubators in the baby room are out of power. The babies are almost freezing." Xiao Meng asked Daliangzi to check for nearby generators. It was found that the nearest one was at a gas station. So she told the children at the gas station to drag the generator to the hospital, and specifically told them not to spill the oil. El Gang led the army to put out fires everywhere. He told the children in the tank company to drive the tanks onto the streets as streetlights the headlights are bright enough. He told the children in the communication company to climb up the utility poles too, connect the lines, although several of them fell. The most amazing thing is, he told the children in the cooking class to set up a big pot and cook porridge in the square. First, make sure everyone is full. Then they won't have time to grab things. There were also many jokes in the chaos. Children in a city imitated adults and held a press conference. They said to the camera that the current situation was stable. Suddenly, there was a loud noise from behind. The building next door collapsed. It scared him so much that he cried on the spot. There was also a group of children who wanted to start the nuclear power plant. They studied the operation manual for a long time. They almost pulled out the control rod. Fortunately, Daliangzi warned in time that it would explode, so they didn't cause a big problem. Who wouldn't be confused by this operation? Huawa watched the farce on the monitor. He was both angry and amused. Starting a nuclear power plant is like playing with building blocks. Xiao Meng sighed. They have no other choice. In the past, children didn't need to worry about these things. What bothers the children most is people's hearts. Daliangzi can manage machines, but it can't manage people. A group of children occupied the supermarket. They guarded the door with sticks. They would hit anyone who got close. Children in a community connected the tap water to their own homes, making others cry from thirst. Some people spread the rumor that the adults would come back. Many children put down their work. They squatted at the crossroads and waited. As a result, it delayed the repair of the circuit. We have to let everyone know. No one can be relied on. We can only rely on ourselves. Glasses suddenly said. He asked Daliangzi to call all the phones in the country, whether they are landlines or mobile phones. Once the call is connected, play a recording. It's the voice of teachers Zheng Chun. When she recorded this passage, she had just given birth to a child. Her voice was still a bit weak. Children, I know it's difficult, but this is our life now. Don't wait. Don't grab. Help each other. We can always get through the days. This recording really worked. A child who was robbing the supermarket heard it. Suddenly put down the stick and said, "My mum used to tell me the same thing." Then he shared the food with others. 3 days later, the electricity gradually came back on. The water supply gradually resumed. The fires gradually went out. When the first ray of sunlight shone through the window of the great hall of the people, Huawa was lying on the table, asleep. There were still cookie crumbs on his face. Xiao Meng's ledger was spread out beside him. It was filled with crooked check marks. Glasses was leaning on the chair. His glasses had slipped to the tip of his nose. El Gong was the worst off. He was sitting on the ground, holding the walkie-talkie. His saliva had dripped into his military uniform. Suddenly, Daliangzi's voice sounded. Currently, 83% of the country's regions have restored power. 67% of the regions have restored water supply. All the fires have been extinguished. Social order is basically stable. The children opened their eyes sleepily. They looked at each other. Suddenly, they laughed. The smiles were uglier than crying. But there was a kind of indescribable pride. We made it through. Xiao Meng rubbed her eyes and asked, "It seems so." Huawa scratched the back of his head. His hair was as messy as a chicken coop. Glasses pushed his glasses up. Looking at the Taodong data on the screen, this is just the beginning. Daliangzi can help us for a while, but it can't help us forever. We have to figure out the rest by ourselves. He's right. In the following days, new problems emerged one after another. Winter is coming soon. There isn't enough coal to burn. There aren't enough seeds. There may be no food next year. The most annoying thing is, many children don't want to work anymore. They think they won't starve to death anyway. Why bother? This is probably what the adults call the floating era. Huawa looked out of the window. The children on the streets started playing around again, as if they had forgotten the embarrassment of a few days ago. Without the support of adults, we're like floating in mid-air. We don't know where to step next. Xiao Meng put away the ledger. Don't think too much. First, take care of today's meals. Leave tomorrow's problems for tomorrow. You must have thought of it. These children are like babies, just learning to walk. They've fallen countless times, but they're still staggering forward. They may make mistakes. They may be lazy. They may quarrel. But the tenacity deep in their bones is much stronger than adults think. In the next chapter, let's see, when they stand a little steadier, what kind of strange ideas will pop up. After all, the world of children never follows the rules. That's the end of this chapter. If you like it, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm Shiju. See you in the next video.